I'm Jonny Smith.
I'm Richard Porter.
And this is Smith & Sniff, a podcast in which two friends talk about cars and many other things.
Cheers.
And thus begins the podcast.
Once again, we're in the same room.
Yeah.
But this time, we're in my sitting room.
We are. We've got a dog licking itself on the floor.
If you can...
It's quite vocal.
Some licking noises. Johnny's not gone feral. It's because my dog's in the room. So, and it's a sort of lovely wintry evening.
It is. You've got your tree,
tree up
fully
and lit,
twinkling and wonderful behind me.
Yeah,
it's setting the scene of festivities.
I did bugger all to do that.
I asked your daughter. I said, "Who decorated the tree?" And she said, "It was basically me."
Yeah, but you know, it was she did a lot of it with my wife because they both love Christmas more than the other members of our family.
Oh, what? The boys aren't bothered?
The boys are less fussed about Christmas, I would say, you know, but that's because they're incredibly fussed about Christmas. They bloody love Christmas.
All right.
And but we had to do something else. We must have been in the house because she's not old enough to be left alone, but we were somewhere else in the house. And then we came down and she'd opened the second box of decorations and put them all on the tree by herself. And that's a tall tree. We're still not quite sure how she did it.
That's twice the height of her.
Yeah. 3 times, I'd say. She's only little. I mean...
Hey, talking of 3 times.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, I kept meaning to message you. That song, 3 Times a Lady by the Commodores.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he say once, twice, thrice a lady?
Yeah.
Because I think it would just be so much smoother.
It would.
Wouldn't it?
But it's quite... Do you think it sounds a bit...
It's a bit period drama. Well, it's period drama, isn't it?
Or...
You're once, twice.
I just think...
Thrice.
Thrice a lady. It makes him sound like a rather tedious man who would also say, methinks the lady is once, twice, thrice a lady. You just go, why are you talking like that? You're from Watford. You just sound like a bell.
Yeah.
That would be my take on it.
Yeah, okay.
On that note, also, of song lyrics and it being almost Christmas.
Yeah.
And we were talking, for context for the listeners, so Johnny's down here in the West Country in Somerset because you've been working on your 2CV at the 2CV shop.
Yeah, I've got oil on my knees and everything.
Have you?
Yeah, but not enough so
but
that
you're wearing trousers, so how did this...
Well, the knees of my trousers.
Oh,
I'm not like a Freemason car mechanic, am I, you
I thought you'd oiled your knees under your trousers. Why would you do that?
No, I've been grafting in the garage.
I was impressed.
Lovely. Oh, thanks.
It's been a disappointing day for me in one respect. Because you sold me a right dummy.
I feel bad. I didn't sell you a frigging thing.
Well, no one did.
I threw you a bone, though.
Yes.
A WhatsApp bone.
Well, I thought I was going to be away filming today, and that was in my diary, and then it just for various reasons I wasn't. And so I sort of had a free day, and I thought I'd do some admin, but I knew you were over at the 2CV shop. And then you sent me a tantalising message about Darren, who owns a 2CV shop, has a Honda Beat, which has been sort of languishing at the back of his workshop for ages.
Yeah, him and his son have owned it for quite a while. It's been in storage most of the time, and it's recently come out and gone under a tarp.
But the reason I know that I can fit in a Honda Beat is because the last time I went to the 2CV shop, Darren pulled the tarp off the Honda Beat and went, go on, have a sit in that. And I did, and went, oh, quite spacious, all things considered.
Yeah.
And which did nothing to help my craving for a Honda Beat. But then, and he was like, well, you know, one day I'll get this going and maybe I'll want to sell it.
Yeah. He wants you to buy it.
I know, but that's the thing. He actually said to me today, if you don't want it, I'll just keep it. But it's like this, so that he will sell that car, but only to me, which I feel like...
I think it's mildly threatening.
It's putting a lot of pressure on, because on the one hand, I do kind of want a Honda Beat, but on the other hand, what am I going to do with it? Where am I going to put it?
Is that first to see, will buy,
as long
as you're Richard Porter
you.
from Bath?
He'll only say first to see will buy as I'm standing there looking at it,
Oh, will he proclaim it? I could see him dressed as a town crier. And he'd come out with a huge cloak on and one of those triangular hats, and he would shudder a bell at you, and he would shout, "Oh yay, oh yay," and then say,
"Hear ye,
you've seen it. Thy shall buy it.
Thou shalt.
Thou
Haft. Is that a word?
Haft purchase.
Methinks, milady, once, twice, thrice, and sold to the gentleman here. Hear ye." Well, I mean, it's almost like, the old "who smelt it, dealt it."
Oh, classic.
Who looked at it, bought it.
Yeah.
But I didn't, I'm the only person here, Darren. Anyway, but you messaged me earlier on and went, with tantalising, you sent me a little video of the Beat running.
Yeah, so it's just had its cam belt done and its brakes and a few other odds and sods. Had the crap immobiliser that was fitted in Japan removed and all those bits. And yeah, it's almost MOT ready. And I think I thought it was going to be around all day. And the guy doing the work in the unit next door. You messaged me. I feel bad, but I am laughing. You messaged me to say, "Oh, I've got a bit of time this afternoon, it seems. I might just pop over. I'm only 30-odd minutes away." I went, yeah, go for it, man. And I was busy beavering away on my 2CV in the shed. Didn't realise that the bloke with the Beat pulled the shutters down and padlocked everything and just went home about 10 minutes after I took that video, and I didn't know.
Are we allowed to say the name of the man whose unit the Beat's in at the moment, because he's doing the work on it?
Yeah, you can say that.
Gearbox Tony.
Gearbox Tony.
Now, you might assume at home that he's called Gearbox Tony because he works on gearboxes.
No, he once worked on a gearbox, and the person that witnessed him in the street, I think, repairing a BMW gearbox many moons ago, nicknamed him Gearbox Tony, and now he is Gearbox Tony. It's something we've talked about on the podcast with names in phones.
It is that, isn't it? But it's more specific than that, because he was sighted doing something on a car, and that was his. What if the first time that someone had seen him, the first thing they saw him doing was strangling a fox?
Fox Strangler Tony.
Yeah. It's sort of Native American, isn't it? He gets a name that's somehow appropriate to you, but he's Gearbox Tony because he was taking the gearbox out of a BMW on his drive.
Yeah, see, I think it would sound quite cool if you found out that the gearbox was Getrag. I reckon Tony Getrag would sound quite cool. Or ZF Tony. Do you not think?
What's the Italian gearbox manufacturer, Graziano? But Tony Graziano, that's a mafia name.
That's a gang name, yeah.
Tony Graziano.
Don't mess with him.
Tony Getrag.
Tony Getrag.
He's just like your dad's mate that works at the council or something. But
what about ZF Tony? Because Tony would then be the surname, and the Z would imply that his Christian name?
Not necessarily, because what if Tony ZF? It's just because nobody could be bothered to learn how to pronounce his double-barreled, very exotic, yeah. So he's he's Tony Zieglermont Fremont, and everyone goes, "Oh, I can't be bothered with that."
Yeah,
Tony ZF.
Yeah,
simpler.
He comes from money in Mozambique.
Ooh, also Tremac. Tremac.
Yeah,
Tony Tremac.
Tony Tremac sounds good.
He's a newsreader.
Tony Tremac, yes.
An American newsreader.
Yeah.
Hi. You're listening to
a boxing commentator.
Oh.
He did the recent Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight.
Coming to your live from Las Vegas. I'm Tony Tremac.
Tony Tremac. He's got a big voice. Yeah, he's got a big one.
I think we're out of gearbox manufacturers.
Are we out of gearbox manufacturers? No, we've got Ricardo, is it?
Oh, yes.
So
Tony Ricardo.
Yeah, we've got Ricardo. What about X-Track? Is it X-Track?
Yeah.
They do it as well?
Oh, they do. Yeah, they do sequentials, don't they? For
so X-Track sequential. What a remix.
What a remix. That's a plausible surname.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway.
You never saw the Beat.
Darren's friend, Gearbox Tony, is doing some work on the Beat in his garage lockup, whatever you call it, unit.
Yeah.
but he'd gone home and locked the beats inside.
You never even saw
I
it.
turned up and Darren, I've got some disappointing news for you. The beat's locked inside. So I didn't get to drive a beat. I mean, in a way that's quite good, because I had this feeling as I was driving over there, I was like, shit, I'm going to drive that beat and I bet I'm going to really like it, and then I'm going to have to make him an offer.
I feel like you're destined to purchase it, and one of the reasons I have for this is because it's possibly the most Bristolian thing that you could drive, because its number plate almost says Rave, R-A-V, and it's a 90s Honda. It's 90s, so it's perfect for Bristol, and it's parkable in Bristol.
Yes, which
So-
is a hard city to park in sometimes, I think.
Very hard city to park in. I'm glad you pointed that out.
I went to Bristol this week for reasons that I'll mention on another podcast, maybe.
What, someone else's podcast?
I went on someone else's podcast. I went on the Intercooler podcast with Andrew Frankel and Dan Prosser. Sweet guys.
Sweet guys.
And they very kindly... You've been on it already, haven't you? So
I was on it a while back, yeah. Not in person.
no.
Well, I mean,
and-
I was my own person. You know what I mean?
Not our person.
Not in
I
person.
impersonated a cat for the entire thing.
Yeah.
I went over there because they record in Bristol, so it was like, well, that's fine. It's only down the road, and also because there was the promise of going for a pub lunch afterwards,
You bastard.
which was delightful. But driving into Bristol for the first time in ages. First of all, in an area of Bristol called Brislington,
Yeah.
I drove past a shop which says the Bristol 80s and 90s shop.
Really?
And I was like, for fuck's sake, in Bristol, that's just the shop.
Yeah, the
Why
shop
do
in
they-
Bristol.
Why do they? I swear, I wanted to take a photo, but I was driving and I couldn't. And I meant to look this up online. I will find a link to it, assuming there is one. Well, except there won't be because I don't have the internet. Cause
No, they don't believe in it. No.
But, yeah, genuinely, and I was laughing, and I think I then left you a voice note when I arrived about this, because I couldn't believe there's an 80s and 90s shop. But secondly, did I tell you this today? That, you know, we talk about those, like, posters on lampposts that advertise drum and bass nights.
Oh, yeah.
In London and in Bristol.
Yeah, it's always a dance night, yeah.
Yeah, and you're going down it, and you're going down it, and then finally you sort of go, oh, DJ Spoonie, yeah, I've heard of him. Otherwise, impenetrable. You just go, you could make this up.
Yeah.
This is nonsense. And I saw a poster advertising a drum and bass night in Bristol on my way through Bristol, but it wasn't a thing tied to a lamppost. It was a fucking billboard.
Was it?
Like what are they call? I can't remember how many sheets they are, the big ones.
Yeah.
The really big billboard.
How many sheets?
And again, I couldn't take a picture of it because I was driving, but I was so desperate. I was like, I can't believe only in Bristol would a slightly iffy looking, because that's the thing, it was just plain. It's like, I think it was orange, just like a sort of orange background with just typeface on it, nothing else.
Oh, really? So it hadn't
No
been
images.
computer designed, we don't think?
No, it's just like absolutely functional. Here are the people, and one of them was, oh god, someone I'd heard of.
It would
Obviously,
be
'cause that's the
a
one.
Bristolian?
It wasn't like Tricky or something. It was because I swear it was. I'm sure it was a drum and bass night. I'm trying to think who was on there that I've actually heard of, but everyone else no.
Goldie.
No.
Okay.
Anyway, tell me more about your drive into Bristol, Rich, that loads of people do every day. But it was so Bristolian. So you're right. If I bought that Honda Beat with the rave plate,
People would love that.
see, I've got a couple of problems with that Honda Beat.
Oh, okay. Don't tell Darren, obviously.
No, I won't. Well, one thing, I mean, he's getting it all fixed up, and he said he's going to have the bodywork machine polished because it's red. And like a lot of red cars from the 90s, it's sort of flatted out and faded out a bit, but he's going to have it polished up. I bet it'll look amazing when it's done.
I bet it will.
No, my main problem with it actually is that it's currently on 3-spoke alloys.
It is on 3 spokes.
And I find those morally unacceptable.
I've really come around to the tri-spoke. I've really
The thrice spoke.
Thrice!
Once,
twice,
thrice your
thrice.
spokes, milady.
Yeah, it's thrice. The spoking's on the wheel. Wheel. Amazing. Yeah, thrice spokes. I'm okay with 3 spokes now. I'm at peace.
I can't.
I've gone full circle.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's like that immersion therapy. You know, people who like sort of compulsively wash their hands. It probably has gone out of fashion now because it sounds wrong, but someone compulsively wash their hands because for whatever reason they would make them immerse their hands in shit or something. Seriously,
I watched a video the other day of a guy coming out of a portaloo at a festival, and some woman was reporting on it with a microphone to camera, and he looked at her and obviously got completely distracted. I suspect he was also off his face. He went straight out of the cubicle and to a huge open trough urinal and put his hands in, picked up a couple of the soaps.
Oh, God.
And washed his hands. And she turned around and he froze. And then he froze for about 5 seconds. And he looked at her and he went, "Is this piss?" Honestly, I'll find it and I'll put a link for Patreons because it absolutely destroyed me. It destroyed me.
Is it as good as that clip? Did you put this on the Smith and Sniff Instagram? The woman driving a golf cart into her friend's house, as in crashing it into her house.
Yeah.
Then and being flung from it.
Yeah, she fully came out, didn't she?
And then getting back into it as it starts to roll away, and then just clogs the accelerator and smashes back into her friend's house.
I don't know how she can be so terrible at controlling a vehicle. I mean, she'll be pissed. She
Do you think?
Oh, she has to be. She's also one of these, refusers to put their phone down.
Yes.
So even in a state of what is kind of an emergency, the phone doesn't go down. She still just uses one hand.
Yes, that's a good point.
And I never understand that. Never understand that.
No,
I've caught my daughter basically pouring boiling water on her own legs by accident with the phone in the other hand. I'm like, get rid of the phone.
Oh, God.
Do the important job with two hands, then pick up. I sound like such a dad.
No, it's a fair point.
Dear.
I mean, I've had to have that conversation with my kids about, sort of holding their tablets because they're watching something on them, and giving them a bit of a bollocking for not paying. I mean, not quite pouring boiling water on their legs, but
no,
definitely doing things that, including, I caught my boy having a poo with the bathroom door open and his iPad just on the floor.
Oh gosh, that's low.
We're still watching some fucking YouTube nonsense with some gamers shouting at each other, and I was just like, you do not need to be constantly watching this.
No, or crimping with the door open. I would suggest.
Your kids not do that? I suppose probably
no.
not.
There's no door open crimping. Although, my son would quite happily want me to come into the bathroom and chat to him, and then he'd decide to crimp. He's got no issues with that.
Yeah, I knew someone. Years ago, when I was at university, there's a mate of mine, and there was a guy that we both knew, who my friend was over at his halls of residence, which was one of the posh ones that had an ensuite loo.
Oh wow!
And they were just chatting in his room. And then he got up, he opened the bathroom door and he went in, and he's just carried on the conversation going, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I just, I'm not sure but what I'm doing on Saturday, but probably, I'll give you a shout and we could go. And my mate, sort of out of politeness, wanted to make eye contact, assuming he was just in there washing his hands or something, went to the bathroom door and he was just sitting there having a poo.
Well,
he was like, mate, just close the door.
My brother's workshop mate, who he shares all the workshop facilities with, he does door open poo chat in the workshop.
Mm.
Yeah, you know who you are, Mickey. You dirtbag. Now, I wanted to talk about. I mean, it's obviously the festive season.
Yes.
I watched Home Alone for the 27th time the other day.
Yeah.
Still a stone cold classic.
Absolutely.
A couple of observations. I think I've said it before, but it's definitely one where 'tis the season for Macaulay Culkin to be scared of what is essentially a Skoda grill in the basement.
Oh yes,
it just looks like a Skoda front grill.
Yeah,
what is a boiler? A
stove? They call it a furnace.
It's a furnace,
but
it just looks like a modern Skoda grill. That talks to him, and then he realises he's not actually scared.
It's a weird bit of that film, isn't it? Does it?
I think it's tapping into kids overthinking stuff.
Yeah, but then is there a point at which he then has to sort of face his fears and go down to the basement so they sort of couldn't cut it out very easily? It is intrinsic to something or other. But
he does the whole mind over matter thing and goes, I know that it's not real. I've just got to really persevere. So well done, Macaulay. But the other thing is, I forgot about the Wet Bandits, which was the name that the two robbers go by.
What?
Yeah, Joe Pesci and the other guy who obviously get completely tortured and destroyed, which is still funny. They nicknamed themselves the Wet Bandits. And I thought to myself, if they just inserted the word belt in between wet and bandits.
The wet belt. Well, no, but then
we could just...
Well, I suppose in a way that would be appropriate because ultimately they failed.
Yeah, I know. They're not very
at great expense.
They're not very good at doing what they do because they're not great robbers, are they?
There's a fundamental design flaw in
Ford and Peugeot engines. Yeah,
the wet belt band, just the wet belts.
The wet belts.
I think we did say that, didn't we? That sounds like a Cockney insult.
Oh, you wet belt, absolutely. So I enjoyed that, and then we went on in the last week or so. Been watching other Christmassy themed films, which I'm sure many people have. Watched something called The Holiday. You might have seen it before.
Is that the one where Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet swap houses?
Yes. Exceptionally early 2000s.
Yes.
And also quite unrealistic, but it's good because it's a festive film. But I noticed that Jude Law appears rapping at the door of that idyllic little cottage that Cameron Diaz is staying in as a house swap. It turns out that he's bursting for the toilet,
right?
And that's how his character's introduced to hers, and they do the whole eyes meeting thing. So he thinks he's knocking on his sister's door. His sister's obviously pissed off to Los Angeles and not told him. He's come back from the pub and stays on her sofa.
Oh yes,
because
it's coming back to me now.
And because he's a single parent.
Yeah,
and he's busting for a waz. Now, where's the flaw in that narrative, Richard?
I mean,
the dog is snoring.
The dog is snoring. She's a terrible snorer these days in her old age. Bless her. Where's the flaw in that narrative? I mean,
massive flaw.
He knocks on the door. Oh,
it's hopping around.
Where's my sister? Oh, she's not here. Hi, I'm.
Well, no one wants to meet a potentially hot woman hopping for a piss, but that's not. He doesn't know.
No one wants to wet themselves in front of an attractive lady either,
or anyone.
I mean, it's not socially unacceptable to go, I'm sorry, could I just use the loo?
No, what he should have done is, bearing in mind the house is in the middle of nowhere, really.
Oh,
why didn't he just piss on the way back to her house? Just do a simple walking backwards.
He could have stopped. He wasn't in a rush.
Yeah, that's right. Gone to a hedge or a wall.
So, are you saying that a fundamental part of the plot of the film The Holiday is, in fact, could have...
Jude Law could have done a nature piss, and he didn't.
Hey, talking of Jude Law, sort of, did I tell you this? Last week, I went out for an meal with a mutual friend of ours in London.
Yeah.
And sitting very nearby to us, there was this woman. I thought she looks familiar.
She's called Julie Law.
Yeah.
What?
Judith Law.
Judy Law.
Judith Law.
Yeah.
And ironically, she's a solicitor who runs a firm called Judith's Law. There's someone else like having dinner with a very conspicuously younger, handsome man. So I know her. You know that thing where your brain, your sort of mental Rolodex spools through. Did I work with her once? Is she a friend of my wife's? Is there so? And then I suddenly realised, no, none of these things. It's Sienna Miller.
Really?
Sienna Miller. And later I went to the loo and I thought, well, I'll have a little look at this. And I looked it up, and sure enough, the handsome younger man was in fact her boyfriend. Matter of record. However, it was a Monday night.
Yeah.
Which may put some extra context on it, because they, like us, were having dinner in Pizza Express.
Were they?
Yeah. Which, I don't know, I was a bit like, it's fair play. Just go for it. It's a Monday night. Not going to go to the Wolseley.
No.
Well, I mean, it's closed down as well, but you're not going to go somewhere mega fancy. Just go to Pizza Express in Soho.
I'd have to talk to Sienna Miller about layer cake.
Oh.
I'd have to actually apologise on behalf of Daniel Craig's character, because I still feel frustration and guilt
What?
over
because
that.
he's such a shit.
No, that scene where she basically wants to sleep with him and takes most of her clothes off and then goes into the bathroom to freshen up, and then he disappears because does he either run away or does he get dragged away? I can't actually remember.
I don't know.
He gets beaten up. I think he gets dragged away and beaten up.
Is Daniel Craig one of the world's most serious men
In reality or in a character?
in reality?
I think he's actually really funny, but I think he's quite
Do you think?
he's quite conservative with where he uses it. When he does use it, he's really funny.
When's he ever been funny? I mean, I've seen him playing slightly comical roles.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the James Bond thing. I always got the impression that Daniel Craig, being James Bond, made Daniel Craig extremely miserable. And he regarded it as a massive pain in the arse, but he kept doing it all the same.
Well, like there's too much weight to the character.
Yeah, and he just found it annoying. And how many people come up and go, "Oh, shaken, not stirred," and even just trying to buy something from Homebase.
I think he was just trying to control the hysteria.
Maybe.
It was his way of keeping it on the simmer.
Yeah.
Rather
I just
than boiling
don't
over.
ever think, and I may be very, very mistaken here. Daniel, if you're listening, get in touch.
I was going to say he's a listener of the cast.
What is he? Because you've just decided that.
Yeah. We've actually he's ordered merch. I'm absolutely positive
Really?
of it. Yeah,
he's ordered a
What did he go
Prelude-
for? What do you reckon he went for?
A Prelude 2.2 t-shirt, I think.
Yeah, he did.
'Cause
No, he
does
went for a hoodie actually.
Did he?
Yeah.
What, like the one I'm wearing now?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
that.
from our excellent merchandise range.
Yeah,
Okay, so
he's a
it's-
prelude. He's a prelude hoodie guy.
But no, there's a lack of jauntiness in whenever I see him being interviewed. That I always think, but then he did that. He's done a few things where actually, no, maybe I'm wrong. I'm trying to think because who's that guy who led the British Army for a while? Was it General Sir Richard Donat? I think his name was.
I don't know who's the led the British.
And he was just like, he's the most grown-up, serious man I've ever seen. And you want that in the role that he had, but he sort of went. I don't imagine that he's ever giggled as a fart, or
Do you not think?
or just like tried to click and point at the exact moment the kettle clicks off.
He's definitely like had a photo taken at a rugby club event and someone else's cock is on his shoulders and he doesn't know it. because that's just what happened.
He would have ordered a full inquiry and maybe even had the man's cock shot off.
Oh, God.
Because of the unseriousness
Oh, gosh.
of that. I don't know. But I was talking about this, in fact, when not that I'm seeing other podcasts behind your back, but as we've established, I went on the intercooler.
You're.
And we went for a lovely pub lunch afterwards. And
So when was the last time we went for a pub lunch?
That's a good question, actually.
Yeah.
Well, I cooked you dinner this evening.
Actually, he did cook me dinner. It was really nice, lovely, sweet risotto. It wasn't sweet, but it was very tasty. I saw him
putting some Maltesers in it, but I decided against it.
I saw the 8-second glug of maple syrup and thought that's excessive.
That's going to be too sweet. We were talking about who's going to play the next James Bond, and I said this was not met with general enthusiasm, but I said I think we need a jaunty Bond again. Sean Connery was followed by Roger Moore. Sean Connery quite serious, Roger Moore.
Dalton quite serious too.
Yeah.
And Brosnan not.
No, that's the thing. Well, this is where we got to, because I said I think we need another jaunty Bond like a Roger Moore.
Yeah.
And agreed that perhaps that was too jaunty, too silly, that it should be a sort of more like a Brosnan. A little bit of a twinkle in the eye, but still likes to kick a bad guy in the neck.
I agree. I actually watched a Brosnan spec Bond with the kids a couple of weeks ago. Watched Die Another Day, or if it was German, obviously DIE means the, so it'd be the another day. What kind of or D would be the another tag. Anyway, I'm overthinking it for no apparent reason.
I'm just going to look up what was.
Die Amstiger Tagen would be the another day, I think.
What was Die Another Day
in German?
In Germany.
Well, dying in Germany isn't D, because obviously D means the.
According to this, now this Do you find this slightly annoying now that, once upon a time when you Googled something, Google went, okay, here's what you're looking for. Now it goes, here's what some AI thinks you're looking for.
Yeah. I don't
and
want
you'll go, like, how long do seagulls live for? And it'll go, flock of seagulls had a number one hit with this. And by the way, also, you could eat seagull if you want, but it tastes of fish. And I wasn't asking any of this stuff. Apparently, according to the AI overviews, it's probably bullshit. The German title for Die Another Day was 007, Der Morgen stirbt nie.
Oh, really?
What does that mean?
Well, Morgan...
The morning?
And Morgan's, sometimes they refer to it as the next day, and Morgan's would be like tomorrow, day after tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like that. I watched Die Another Day. Kids hadn't seen it. Really enjoyed it. Zhao with the diamonds in it, the old conflict diamonds in the face. Nice bit of face art. Enjoying the old XKR. In that amazing green. I mean, I know Jag's obviously still in the news even now, having revealed that real monolithic coupe concept thing, which I dig. I've got to say, I dig it. And Jag have got the world in their hands at the moment in terms of attention, so bravo to that. This just in. Oh, what?
I mean, this is off Reddit again. This is people saying stuff. It could be anything. But the claim is that... what the... See, look, this is nonsense, in fact. This is claiming that Tomorrow Never Dies became The Morning Never Dies.
Okay.
It doesn't say Die Another Day, but it does...
See, I quite like Die Another Day, and I like the theme tune. Madonna's acting in it's not very good.
Oh my gosh, it's terrible.
But it's a reminder that Madonna used to look like a woman.
Yeah, she was much less gristly and weird.
Yeah, very much.
She didn't look like a terror hawk in those days.
No, she does. She's actually quite scary now, which is a real shame.
But I find that theme tune a little bit angular.
It is. You are right. Yeah,
it could very easily go Vic Reeves.
You're lifting and dropping your shoulders as you're singing it. Yeah.
Apparently, For Your Eyes Only in Germany was On a Deadly Mission.
What?
Yeah.
For Augen's eyes in German.
And The Living Daylights became The Breath of Death.
What?
I suppose because The Living Daylights was only... It worked because it was... And in fact, this is a line in the movie, isn't it? You scared the living daylights out of me. That's the thing. It's like the living daylights... It's funny how these are sort of idioms, aren't they, in English? But if you don't have that idiom in another language... It
just doesn't translate.
It's just absolutely meaningless.
I used to sing Live in Haystacks, but I don't know why. Live as in people who might live in haystacks. But I don't know why. I'm just an idiot. I'm an idiot child. That was the first Bond I watched when it had been first released, pretty much.
Oh.
That's my first, like debut, freshly baked Bond, as it were. I'd love to know what other people's were, but I remember the beginning scene with the fight on the canvas back of the Land Rover.
Yeah.
That then catches fire, because I think there's flares in the back, a box of flares.
Yeah.
I don't mean the trousers. I mean, because a furious fight. It's so fast that there's friction being made with trousers. I wanted to talk about an observation in a village near me. I was filming the other day a review of a car, and we kept driving through this village near me, and I saw an old couple driving a Daihatsu Hijet.
Oh.
Which had been hand-painted really badly. And it distracted me to the point where I think I wasted about 5 minutes of video footage where I was just muttering to myself, not about the car I was reviewing, but about the fact that I thought initially, is all the lacquer come off it? And then it was like, no, it's been hand-painted in what appears to be hammerite, and then that's been sun-faded.
Oh, God. Black hammerite?
No, silver.
Oh.
Yeah, so then I went back past it to check whether I was seeing things. Sure enough, it had been hand-painted in hammerite, but also in every In every window, it had, I think, they'd printed out and laminated, that's the sort of thing that old people do. They'd printed out on a card and laminated it, a sign which said, warning CCTV in process.
Don't you go touching our Hammerited Hijet.
Small people carrier.
Oh my God.
I don't know what it's about. I
mean, you're so far down your own agenda there that it's almost incomprehensible to anybody else. Yet it would make perfect sense if you asked them about it.
Is it once they found some lads trying to tamper with one of the locks?
Trying to push over the Hijet.
It'll
or
be
move
something.
it.
It will be. Or is it because it's now classed as quite retro and Japanese? Are they getting loads of young lads constantly hammering on the door saying, would you sell it to us? But because they're young lads and they're a bit clueless when it comes to money, they think it'd be a bargain if they bought it for £3,000. Whereas you and I look at it and go, what?
What? No.
That's 400 quid on a good day.
I mean, that's
but
sort
times
of like
have changed.
incredible American enthusiasm for Mitsubishi Delicas.
Yeah.
You just go, why?
Well, if it's a space gear, Rich, I'm all in.
Oh, well, that's different.
Yeah, it is.
But Delicas, I mean, no offence, particularly to our friend Matt Farrer, out of the Smoking Tyre, who's very fond of his Delica.
Yeah, he is very fond of his Delica.
But Delicas are a bit toss, aren't they? I mean, there's like I think it's the forbidden fruit thing.
It's absolutely the forbidden fruit. It's the same way that you and I get massively aroused by Crown Victorias.
Yes, it's exactly that.
It's because we just don't have them. We never
Yeah.
got them. So the idea of trying to find a late Crown Vic detective spec, you and I get really quite a bit of a semi on.
Well, have we mentioned this before? That because this is the thing. My wife, being from the US, when I sort of said, "Oh, you know, Jonny and I really want to get a Crown Victoria," she was just like, "What?" Because it would be the equivalent if we lived in the US.
Yeah, what would it be the equivalent of?
Well, the diesel Astra, wouldn't it? Or
Mondeo.
Yeah, Mondeo. Well, I don't know.
Mid-spec? Mondeo?
Mid-spec diesel. I mean, yeah, it's not even like an Omega V6 or something, full motorway cop pursuit spec.
No.
Shit, have you seen, there's a documentary on, maybe Netflix, I can't remember now, about boy bands of the 90s.
I've heard about it, I've not seen
It's
it.
very interesting. I can't remember how many episodes. I think I've still got one left. There's the episode where they cover Take That splitting up, and you forget sort of how seismic in the world of pop that was.
It was huge. It was absolutely huge.
And they've got all the footage of them. So they did the press conference, but they've got this footage of the outside of, I don't know, is it a hotel or something? It all looks a bit shit, in fact. But I couldn't help noticing there's a terribly beached Omega in it. There's they sort of pan across the exterior of this like airport hotel or something. And there's all these weeping teenagers outside. And there's just an Omega that somehow like seems to have bellied out on a gravel patch of curb. It's weird.
Did someone do that? Because I've done this slightly. I've come in hot to a I've come in hot to a hotel car park very, very late at night after a long journey, and I am tired, Rich. I'm really tired, and I just want to check in and hit the hay. But I haven't noticed the fact there's sort of an unlit raised curb,
Yes,
or a raised flower bed even.
Yes.
And I have once sort of mounted it.
Listener, forgive me. I'm just pouring myself a little more.
It's okay.
Podcasting wine.
If you can hear the fact the dog is really, it's gone into
the dog snoring. I apologise.
the dog's done full snore kick down.
Yeah, no, it's easy. I did it last night actually because I was filming yesterday and I coming back down these country lanes. You know when the nav sometimes goes, well, that's a road,
Yeah.
and it goes quicker between these 2 points than that other road, and it has it can't discern between A, B, and country track roads.
Effing C road.
Effing C road.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. It sent me down some proper effing C roads. Now, it had done it in the morning on the way there, and that was quite a nuisance because, you know, anyone's ever sort of tried to drive through a rural area, but that's near to quite a big town at sort of commuter time.
7:35.
8:30 maybe. I can't remember what time it actually was. I used to get this sometimes trying to take shortcuts going down to Surrey to go to the Top
to the
Gear
Top
studio.
Gear, the Dunsfold
And you
track.
get all these people in Range Rovers and Discoveries and things like that. I'm late for my train, or I'm late to drive into London. And they'd be absolutely ragging it on roads they knew, but they weren't wide enough for comfortable passage of two cars. And it was the same thing on the way there yesterday morning. There was a bit of, every so often you come around a corner, or someone who's just like works locally in agriculture or something, and they're in an L200 and they know the road so well that their mind has blotted out the possibility of an outsider coming the other way.
What, so they're driving in the middle of the road?
Yeah, really quickly. Well, it's single track as well, and you've got to do that passing place thing, and that's, I think, where I've lost a wheel trim off my Tesla. I think it was mounting a bit of a muddy bank. I don't know. Anyway.
It's to swerve avoidance.
Yeah.
Did the L200 coming the other way at you? Was it one of those earlier ones, which I think have suspiciously small headlights?
Yes,
the
it was.
size
It
of
was.
the balls.
Yes. And they do, you're right. It looks like...
It's like a catfish that lives at the bottom of the river, and it doesn't need big eyes because they can't see much.
All of them look like prototypes where they just put some sort of temporary headlights in there.
I
They're
know.
still tooling up the actual headlights, and they just forgot.
It's so true.
But the good thing about being sent down those single track roads at night, on the one hand, at least then, if you can't see headlights coming, you can confidently press on because you don't think you're going to have a crash on the next corner.
Yeah.
Unless those headlights on those Mitsubishis are so small they don't project any light, I don't know. But
They're like old-fashioned sort of Charles Dickens novel lanterns, aren't they?
It's like a little orphan.
The Mitsubishi lantern would actually be a
the
JDM.
Lantern 200.
Oh, they'd love
That's what
that.
the L stands for. Oh, sorry, I think the dog's farted. But oh gosh,
That's pungent.
so yeah, I suddenly saw on the navigation screen it said there's a hard left coming up, and then I saw it was all quite murky out there, and I saw a turning, and I turned, but it wasn't. It was someone's driveway.
So you went in hard, or did you quickly?
No, I wasn't going that quickly, but I still turned in. It was one of those driveways as well, where if you imagine there's then like a triangle of land because there's an in and an out effectively, then merges into one single driveway that leads up to their house. It wasn't a massive driveway because I could see their house, and weirdly parked outside their G-Wagen.
Oh, non-AMG.
All right, dog.
Oh, hello.
Why are you who are you growling at?
Hey, dude.
She's probably growling at her own fart. She's been woken up by her own stench.
Because she's chewing it.
Yeah,
Poor thing. It's just...
So, I'm very quick. I suddenly went, oh, this isn't right. Because obviously it wasn't the road, because there's a frigging great house there with a G-Wagen outside. And so I backed up, but it's even on the reversing camera, also mucky time of year, the camera got crap on it, so it wasn't very visible. And it's pitch dark. And I couldn't really see anything in the mirrors. And I was very tired as well after a day standing around filming.
I know.
Essentially, I reversed over their triangle of grass between the two tribes. I suddenly thought, oh, it's really damp tonight as well. That's going to have left a mark.
Yeah.
And so I clogged it away. Traction control flickered a little bit.
A Tesla's not a light vehicle either, is it?
Exactly. I think I've made a bit of a mark on the triangle of land, but it was the fact that I went, oh, here we go, turn, whoa, there's a house. And
do you know, I've done some really nice, wholesome car rehabilitation in the last week or two. So obviously today and tomorrow, I'm actually doing the 2CV goes for its MOT tomorrow. Very, very excited.
Oh, yes.
So I think she's all done, and it's been really good fun to do that car. And you can be honest with me if you think that me trying to strive to keep the pattern Shan really, really
it's great.
OG and everything else kind of...
I find it deeply satisfying to look at the outside of that car and it's all patinated, but then I walked around the back and there's no boot lid on it when I saw it today, and you can see the floor pan
gleam
is tidy AF because it's new.
Yeah.
And beautifully painted.
Yeah.
It's
that juxtaposition.
Yeah, but that's it. But this is your dream car, isn't it? Because you've always wanted cars that look freaked from the outside, but under the skin they're absolutely perfect.
Exactly. I love that.
And you finally achieved that dream.
As Jag engineers used to say, duality. I love the duality
When
of
did
it.
they say that?
Oh, they said it loads of times in the what was the new XJ. When I say new, it was 13 years ago or something.
Yeah.
They mentioned it for that, and they mentioned it for the XF.
Oh, as in sort of two characters. So
Yeah.
a luxury, smooth, comfortable car, but also a little
Yeah,
bit
hooligan.
sporty.
Yeah, and
They didn't mean we're going to sell them with really fucked up bodywork. But don't worry, underneath they're really good.
no, because originally, that's what I wanted a Boxster to be like. And when
Yeah.
we first talked about ghetto Boxsters,
Yeah.
it was that.
Yeah.
So in the last 2 weeks, obviously doing the 2CV right now, the smart Brabus Roadster goes for its MOT imminently in the next 48 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
bloody
That's
hell, this is a stressful time for you. Well, no,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the 2CV will be fine, but...
gone to town on the brakes, the suspension. Last week I had my old high mileage Honda Insight on the ramp, new rear suspension, which is I've had it in the boot. I don't know if I can't be the only one in this world who bought new components for their car over 2 years ago, and they've been in the boot of the car rattling around with me for over 2 years, and it finally got to the point where I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Just fit them, Jonny, you absolute needle dick. Just fit them.
When I had that Lexus LS400, I had new front struts. What was it? Struts? They struts at the front there? What was it? Something I had to... There's a known thing with those cars. Or upper wishbones.
Yeah, but
Anyway, I had some new, quite big, heavy front suspension parts in the boot, and they were still in the boot when I sold it because I never fitted them. I think the bloke who bought the car off me, of course, just then immediately fitted them because that was the right and sensible thing to do, and it just
rather than carrying them,
exposed my fuck-wittedness. It's
said-
just not getting them bloody put on the car.
I sometimes feel like that. Is that Greek mythological guy, the Atlas, who carries the world around on his back?
Yeah.
I feel like that. I'm driving around with cars, with things for the cars in
Greek
the boot.
mythological guy. Hi, I'm Greek mythological guy.
Yeah, so I've done that. So there's been some Honda Insight worship, and it's absolutely transformed it. Putting adjustable gas shocks on it, which they make for that car. Chevy Matiz springs, which is a forum hack, as the kids would say, and it's so much better.
Is it not getting difficult now to source the Matiz springs as well? Or can it be like a sort of last of the run Matiz?
I think it's last. It's a good question. Maybe or not, it'll go back the other way, and the Insight springs will be available again, but no one will want Chevy Matiz springs. I actually don't know. But what I do love those all forums for those sorts of hacks. But also I've cleaned my Boxster.
Yeah.
And it's a year to the week that I MOT'd it and picked it up.
Yeah.
And I have never washed it. I'm a bad bastard, Rich.
And this is why you've now gone overcompensated.
Yeah, because I've always been holding back. What I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure the car was mechanically on the button and it approved itself. And I've spent this year really enjoying piling miles on it, and I've been using it loads actually. It's been great, and it doesn't leak anymore. And Birmingham Car Keys Dave sorted out the module under the seat, which is still, what a hero, what a guy. And so that's really good. And I got those fantastic secondhand turbo twist wheels from a listener.
Oh yes.
From a member of Slade's nephew. I mean, it's all just coming together. So I spent 2 days cleaning it.
By the way, Birmingham Car Keys Dave has been in touch.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He sent in a question for Ottersop, but he said, note as a little appendage at the bottom, he said, note for Jonny regarding his smart #1 key saga. Your daughter is correct. Because I think when you were telling that story last week, you said that she said, well, couldn't you just get another key cut, Daddy? And you had to go, no, because it's a fob. But Birmingham Car Keys Dave says, your daughter is correct. It's as simple as calling your mate Dave to come and save the day by making you a new key. Well over half the work I do is replacing entirely lost keys.
Wow.
Because he's got the coding.
Well over half.
Coding stuff to be able to do that.
Another shout out for Birmingham Car Keys Dave. He sorted out my Honda Element as well.
Yeah.
So
we're not being sponsored by Birmingham
No,
Car Keys, Dave. He's
we're
just
not.
a really, really nice guy, and he's helped us out
yeah.
when we've needed to have keys made.
But what the last few weeks has taught me, apart from a little bit of car worship and going hands on with your car, makes you feel kind of more appreciative of it. The other thing is, I've reached an age where I'm happy to invest in suspension.
Oh,
And I think it's a level of, without wanting to sound too partridge.
That's quite partridge. But
It's very partridge. And without wanting to sound too partridge, I've realised that there are things in the car world that we know make a vast difference, but we don't really want to spend hard-earned money on. And it's usually tyres and suspension.
Yeah.
Because they're quite boring to look at,
Yes.
but they make a massive difference behind the wheel.
Yeah. No, you're right.
To safety and enjoyment and all those things. And there's been some coin spent on suspension and there's been some coin spent on tyres, and I'm really happy about it.
Yeah.
And
I feel you. I mean, I'm a bit of a stickler for tyres, but I also, sometimes it really bothers me that you buy an older car and you go, I'm not experiencing this car as it's meant to be experienced, because
Yeah.
bushes are all worn, dampers are a bit tired, the springs are past their best, everything is just not as it should be, and you are not getting a true read of that car. Particularly something that sort of back in the day was considered to be brilliant.
Yeah.
And you go, I'm trying to think of an example of this where I've sort of gone, I don't think this feels particularly good, but that's because it's not a good example
Of the mark. Yeah.
And that's and
all that.
yeah, I mean, that's the thing with my Panda.
I didn't think you wanted to talk about your
No, I'm
Panda.
sort of slowly getting over it now, but that I felt like I was sort of chasing. So I probably should have. Well, what I should have done is, because there's that chap in Leicestershire, Fettel and Finesse, who just gets Pandas back to 100 horsepower Pandas back to where they should be, and I probably should have just bought one off him or sent mine to him to sort out.
Yeah.
Instead of just triggers brooming it and replacing one part and then another part and then another part. But yeah, no, I totally feel you. I think that's the thing. It's like it's amazing how much better. Even just new tyres make things feel better, don't they?
Massively. So I've got, what have I got? I've got gas adjustable shocks on the inside. I've got Bilsteins on the Smart Brabus.
Okay.
And the Boxster is going to have some new suspension as well. Some BC Racing. So I've gone out there and gone, yeah, let's just do it.
I reckon the Boxster will feel particularly good after
I need some good bushing as well, and fresh bush.
tightening up.
Yeah. I know that from experience, speaking to people who know a lot more than I do, putting all new bushes in a 986 Boxster, it's like a magic wand waved.
How many bushes would need doing?
116.
And they're all different as well.
Yeah. But you know what was ironic was I was driving the Insight to the chaps at the Lost Socket, where we were putting it on a ramp, borrowing a ramp off them and changing the suspension right. Sweet guys. But the night I was heading over there, can't make this shit up, I was on the Bluetooth hands-free and to a guy, and I went down, the sat-nav took me the wrong way down what was a brand new huge industrial estate that hadn't been finished yet.
Oh.
So there was no overhead lighting and there was no signposts. So I thought, well, it's just a road. So I just carried on going down there because it says go down here and a mile turn right. I went down there at 30, 40 miles an hour and there was a massive speed ramp and I didn't see it.
Ooh.
I went over it at 40.
Oh, shit.
In the Honda Insight with absolutely wanked rear suspension. I thought the rear struts were going to go through the screen at the back.
There's struts on those at the back.
I should know. I was under it last week. No,
Is it not like
it's
a
a
torsion
beam.
beam?
It's a beam. I lied. It's a beam.
Is it struts on the front, though?
It's struts on the front.
Because surely your front struts would have taken the brunt of that and punched through the bonnet.
They were really good because they're quite young, but the problem is at the back they're so old and knackered, and they are, when there's a lot of stuff in the boot, it's got no give, And it basically, you know that game Buckaroo that you probably only play at Christmas, where you try and load the mechanical donkey up,
Yeah.
and then it back kicks it all into your uncle's face. So I felt like that's what happened to me whilst I was on the phone to a friend of mine. By the way, big shout out to mudstuff.co.uk for happily supplying that Bluetooth head unit for my car. They do a lot of Defender aftermarket stuff.
Which car?
The Insight.
Oh.
They do a lot of Defender aftermarket stuff, which
I've already
obviously
got Bluetooth in my Defender, actually.
you have.
Yeah.
Oh, you know.
Well, you know, the Heritage Defenders were delivered with no stereo.
Yes.
So I had to have a stereo put in, so I just had a Bluetooth DAB stereo put in. This is the thing, it's bothering me, because you're running through your fleet.
Yeah.
And how you're lavishing some attention and love on them.
Yeah.
And it's making me think, I need to get an interesting car. Because I know I've got my Defender, which is kind of interesting and I love it. But I haven't driven it for very well.
When was the last time you drove the damn
Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
Was it 3 years ago?
Yes.
Shit.
I know. Isn't that's stupid?
That's a minor tragedy.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. I just had to renew the tracker on it. I was like, why am I still paying for the bloody tracker on it? I know it's in a secure storage unit. But that's it. I renewed the tracker because I was like, that'll make me go and get it. But then, yeah, it's stupid. But I was, in fact, funny enough, again, sorry, I keep banging on about other men I've been seeing behind your back. But I was talking to Andrew and Dan.
Oh, come on.
From the intercooler about, because I think Andrew went, so what other cars for you? Because I went over to Bristol in our Eat Up.
Which is on the drive outside. I was admiring it while I was...
Great little car.
Yeah.
But, he said, what else have you got at the moment? I said, well, I've got a Tesla. So the thing is, there's a thing that it's hard to admit in front of a couple of Helmsrights. But then I said to them, honestly, it's not shit. I really like it. It's actually, it's much less shit. And this is the thing why I ended up getting it, is because I had willfully ignored those cars and thought they were really shonkily engineered, mechanically speaking. And I was staggered to find out, amongst other things, they've got double wishbone suspension at the front.
Yeah.
And both of Andrew and Dan went, what? Really? In that way that, you know.
So's the Rover 800, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
But with not enough suspension travel.
Yes.
Damn you, Honda. And, yeah, but I don't know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? You shouldn't just, everything isn't just trying to impress other car people. But at the same time, it's a bit like,
yeah, but
I feel like I need something else.
But don't worry, because you've got a house that you own.
Well, yes.
I don't own a house. I've just got a 22-year-old Porsche.
and a smart roadster.
And a smart roadster.
And a Beetle and an Insight and an Element and a Tokyo Taxi and...
a Dodge Charger.
And
half of a limousine Senator.
Yes. Oh, are we going to mention... the incredible developments on this episode technically isn't sponsored by our friends at Piston Heads, but anyway, we're going to mention
they're friends of the show.
Friends of the show, because they're so nice, sweet people.
We couldn't help, you see, even when we're actually doing an episode that's not contractually sponsored by them. What appears on their auction platform?
Now, hang on. So this is... I need to just check this, but it's only just gone live, and this episode, we're recording this on Thursday night. It's going to go up on Monday. So there's a prelude.
Oh, believe.
I can't do it as well as you. Prelude.
I can't find... I need to find the description. But the description...
Well, yes. It's beautifully written, but with a couple of... I'm distracted because there's a Clio 172 exclusive... coming up in the auctions as well.
It's a low mileage lude, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, isn't it?
And it's from your hometown.
It's for sale in my hometown, which it seems like a spooky coincidence. It's got 34,319 miles on it, but also it's a Prelude. It's 2.2.
Oh,
but it's a Motegi Special Edition.
It's a what? Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
I don't know, innit? I never heard of it.
I've suddenly doubted myself.
Show me it on the screen, I'll read it.
Look, Motegi. Motegi.
Motegi?
Yeah.
Motegi?
In fact, the auction starts Sunday the 5th of January, so yesterday, if you're listening to this when it goes out.
We should say Happy New Year. Should we?
No, because it's going out on Monday.
Oh yeah, I'm not very good at maths.
Seamlessly professional, as ever.
Bobbins.
So this, anyway, yes, it's a beautiful product. It's green with a cream leather interior.
Series 3 car, Generation 3, is it?
No, 4, that would be.
Or is it
wouldn't
4?
And, yeah, it looks mega. I was looking at it, I was going, I bet actually that's really nice to drive.
Oh,
Because
but
it's peak Honda, attention to detail.
Yeah. 100%.
90s Honda when they sort of spent the money rather than trying to take it out.
Yeah.
And so it's, well, the auction hasn't started yet, but I think because that's super low mileage and looks in incredibly good condition, that's probably going to go for quite chunky money.
It should do, though.
Well, it should
it
do,
deserves
shouldn't it?
it.
But if it doesn't, then we'll buy it.
I was going to say,
They end up desperately trying to get rid of it for $5,000 or something.
that Christmas song by Jonah Louie.
Oh, Stop the Cavalry.
Stop the Cavalry. You know,
Yeah.
it's obviously got this sort of harpy, trumpety.
Yeah, it's quite annoying.
There's even I think there's a tuba in there.
Yeah, I think there is.
I'm totally convinced. Do you remember ages ago when, I think it was at Goodwood in front of the house, when they made a Formula 1 car sing a song,
Yes.
which was really impressive. It might have been Renault.
Yeah, it was Renault. Renault used to do that as their party piece, yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, the more I listen to that song, because I've heard it a lot this Christmas period already, the more I listen, the more I think that Jonah Louie Christmas track could be done probably with a DSG Gearbox Golf R or
Merc A45.
yeah, or an Audi RS3,
Yeah,
or even
yeah,
just even a choir of those 3 cars.
Yeah.
They could properly go. So if there's any remappers out there,
I sat in but did not get to drive a Hyundai Ioniq 5N yesterday. Have you driven one of those?
embarrassingly, I've been offered it about 4 times, and I just can't. Oh yeah, dog, exactly.
Even the dog's grunting in
Yeah, exactly. The
disappointment.
dog is dismayed with me. It's because I can't. Every time I got offered it, I couldn't work the timings out to film with it, and I didn't want to have it for a week and not be able to film with it, because that would be a bit silly.
Yeah. Well, I might just dive in there and ask if I can borrow one, and we can talk about it on the podcast, because I didn't get to drive it. But one of the things is that, and I'm not sure how I feel about this, like I'm kind of down with the fake gears. I think that's really interesting.
Especially very good.
Yeah.
I think it's blown a lot of people away.
Yeah. But the fake noise,
Yeah.
it doesn't quite trombone, but they have put pops and crackles on it.
Yeah.
And that's the point at which I sort of go,
Would you tire of it? You would tire of it, wouldn't you?
I don't know.
You can get rid though, can't you?
Yeah, oh yeah. It's all
With it being a
configurable. It's all
Korean car, there'll be
configurable.
there'll be loads of menus.
Yeah.
You'll be able to do it all.
Yeah. And menus.
It's funny you should say that, because we all do. I mean, you've just listed the fact that I'm some sort of B-side car tycoon at the moment. but I
You're the Aldi Schmee.
I am, aren't I? Yeah, I am. Sadly,
Because he's got his schmuseum. So you need the Jonny.
I don't know.
I don't know. I can't. Well, the Smithium.
Oh, Smithium. There we go.
Smithium,
With the Smithsonian, you could
The Smithsonian.
the Smithsonian car barn.
The Smith Owner's Manual.
Yeah, I put some new flooring down in my rented garage. It's so good, with a rubber mallet and everything.
Have you finished it?
Yeah, pretty much. I've got 2 cars parked on it. Oh, interlocking floor.
How many cars can you get in there?
In that space, 5 if one of those is really small,
Oh.
like a Smart.
Fuck, should I just buy Darren's Honda Beat? Would
Yes.
that be...
Could you commit to it on this recorded podcast as like a... I don't know, like almost contractually
No,
obligation?
because I think I've done that before, and isn't that why I ended up with the Panda? Possibly the Range Rover.
I kept singing when I saw the Beat idling and took
Yeah.
that little video for you as a tempting carrot dangle. Couldn't stop singing Honda Beat.
No.
Honda Beat. Honda Beat. Honda Beat.
Much as and I put this on Twitter the other week, the Max Verstappen's girlfriend, Kelly Piquet, daughter of Nelson Piquet. But I can't see her name written down without hearing Panic by the Smiths. Lead side streets to provincial Kelly Piquet, Kelly Piquet, Kelly Piquet, Kelly Piquet. And I can't disassociate it.
Kelly Piquet.
Kelly Piquet, Kelly Piquet.
Yeah. I'm going to be like that now.
Well, that's the thing. I've just gifted you a brainworm.
Thank you for that, burrower.
Okay, well, now, look, guys, hey, here's the situation. We should stop this. It's been going on for too long. But before we do, I have three things to tell you. That are one. Jonny is engaged in a fascinating project to remake a Tom Cruise NASCAR movie with our favourite female singer in the lead role under the working title of Shardays of Thunder. Thank you to
that's so stupid.
listeners Richard Cohen and also Simon Holohan, I think that's how I'm pronouncing it, sorry Simon if it's not, who both suggested that independently. And it was a welcome suggestion because I hadn't thought of anything this week.
So is she really good?
Second thing I've got to tell you is that... first of all, since we're close to the date of release for this podcast, i.e. this coming Monday, what's coming up on the Lay Bray Show?
This coming Monday.
You did a launch control.
I did do. That's true. I did do a launch control pause. I drive the Theon Design Resto Mod 911.
Yes.
Which is the particular one is the newly released Targa. Mm-hmm. And I managed to score a really pretty autumnal dry day to drive it and film it, and I had a whale of a time that day, a whale tail of a day. And I have to say the sound it's if I was a YouTuber twat I'd say volume up for this one because it just has the most amazing sound. And you know when you just get in a car, and it's daunting at first because it's bloody expensive, but then when you get beyond the price tag, you go, how enjoyable is this? How engaging is this car? And how well put together is it? And the answer is, it's a barrel of fun. And so, guys, listen, look, go and watch it. Not related to that in any shape or form. Something I have forgotten to mention this for the past 5 podcasts. I've written it in bold to say, please mention this because it's important. Honda are stopping the Super Cub 50 production.
Oh yes, they are. Yes,
and we should have mentioned it ages ago because I believe, and you with your trivia books. Have almost certainly written this before, but I think it's the Honda Cub engine is the most produced engine in the world.
I believe so, yeah.
So if you said that in a Jeremy Clarkson voice.
In the world.
Yeah, and they're doing a final edition of that Cub. They're doing 2 versions, and one of them's a Hello Kitty version.
Oh.
Yes. I've asked Honda UK if they will let me buy one and bring it in through them, and they've gone, no. So I really...
Is this only in Japan then you can buy this?
Yeah, I think it's Japan only, and I want one.
Can we put some contacts in Japan?
Can we put it on Smith and Stiff Expenses and we'll put a tow bar on the Quest?
I mean,
for a final edition.
Put it on the roof of the Quest like a Tour de France support car.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing.
We could probably pop my Honda Beat on the roof. I don't own yet, and I won't. Stop it, Richard, stop it.
Yeah, a Beat on the back and a Cub on the roof.
I just realised my wife keeps saying to me, what do you want for Christmas? I was like, I don't know. I don't think I want it. I don't know.
I don't know.
Jonny, I don't know. But when she's away, when she gets back, if I go, I've thought of something. What is it? It's a 90s tiny Japanese sports car. Where are you going?
I've just realised I'm so glad you mentioned this. I've got you a Christmas present. I wanted to give it to you while we record.
Jonny has left the room. Anyway,
It's extremely
while
niche.
he's this is the box that you brought in.
I'd like to open it
Okay,
for the listeners. I nearly said the viewers.
it's a huge box.
Yeah, don't worry about. Yeah, the box is impressive, but it's
It's a huge box full of this.
this
What
is
is this?
it's vintage,
Is it a
and it's something that maybe only you might be interested in.
fuck? I genuinely can't. Is it a sports bag?
It is, but look,
God! It's holy crap! It's a mini Metro sports bag. Where did you get this from?
this came from Belgium,
Oh my gosh!
and it was found by a guy I know, I've known for years,
Wow.
who runs a vintage shop called Fish for Junk. And he found this in a
This is
in a
not junk.
He found this at a thrifty type vintage furniture auction, in Belgium, and said, "This is a bit of you, Jonny. What do you reckon?" And I went, "Oh my gosh!" And this was about 3 weeks ago, and he went, "Oh my gosh, I need this for my friend's Christmas present." So it's an original mini Metro promo bag.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
You?
that's all right,
That's so cool.
isn't it? It's a little bit early Grange Hill.
It's really Grange Hill.
I expect someone to trip you up and spit on you on the way to school with that.
I'll take a picture of it.
I'll get a picture of you holding it up next to your Christmas
and put
tree.
it on the Patreon. Thank you. That's really
That's all
kind
right.
of you.
Merry Christmas,
That
you
is
slag.
fantastic.
Well, you know,
It smells very schooly.
does it?
You know, like 80s schooly somehow. I don't know, because everyone had these bags, didn't they? But not as good as this, because it didn't have mini Metro. It's Metro shaped.
Well,
wow.
I guess we just need to sign off by saying, we don't say it often enough, actually, in both the live podcasts and the pre-recorded ones. It brings us an awful lot of joy to record this total shite. And the fact that people come up to us and say that they really like listening and it's part of their ritual on a dog walk on a Monday morning or whatever it is, it's really humbling. So thanks to everybody that listens to this, and thanks if you're a Patreon supporter or if you buy our merch and all that vajazzle. I know it's a bit wanky, but we're nearing the end of the year, and it's been a lovely year, and it's always great to sit and talk cack, especially with Mel back in hand. But so yeah, that's that on that side of things.
No, wise and profound words, mate. But thank you for my present. Special shout out to our friend Ian Dealey, who's been through a bit of a tough time recently, and it was nice to hear from him this week. And I hope you're still on the mend. Ian, have I done all the things? I can't remember.
No, I think you've got one more, haven't you? I can make it up
I
if you
can't
want.
remember. I was going to promote the merchandise. There's still time to get in merchandise orders, t-shirts, hoodies, caps, beanies.
Listen,
Stickers.
I can vouch for the fact that the embroidery quality on the caps is exceptional.
It is. It's exquisite. It's
Exquisite.
And the third thing I was going to say is that Ozzy Osbourne's real name is John.
Is it? Yeah. What? Why is he called Ozzy Osbourne then?
I don't know. I don't know if
Because
I
his
look it up.
surname was Osbourne, and he
Yeah,
just
I
went,
think it probably is. Yeah, Ozzy. Because I was at school with a lad called Jonathan Osbourne, and we used to call him Ozzy because his surname was Osbourne.
Could have called him Jozzy.
Good job. His surname wasn't Isborn. Anyway, that's quite enough of this from Jonny and me and my incredibly noisy dog.
The dog is just.
We will see, if you're listening to this on Monday, we'll hopefully see some of you on this Wednesday.
Yeah.
At the Aston Workshop and Car Barn in Beamish in County Durham. We're doing a live show in the Wedding Marquee, which, if it's anything like the last one, will be great fun. So hopefully we'll see some of you there. If not, we are doing more live shows in the new year. There's one coming up in January that I don't know whether we can announce yet.
Oh, yeah.
But in association with some other people and for a very worthwhile cause. And then we'll be in Eastbourne in February. Tickets for that are on sale. Go to smithandsniff.com to buy tickets there. And then we have just arranged another one that's going to happen in March.
We're actually being serious about it.
Yeah,
in
it's in
2025.
because we've just got a few little details to work out, but it'll be in a large city in the northwest of England that's not Liverpool. So hopefully we'll see you there. And but for now, thank you ever so much for listening. Goodbye.
Cheers, mate. Thanks, mate. Bye.
So you've enjoyed this podcast, but you've had a thought. Is there a way today that you could show support? Well, you could join our Patreon, what wonders that it brings. Early shows and extra notes on that side of things. You could buy our merchandise, we've mugs and hats but still no ties. One day we will make those pies, but in the meantime guys, hey guys, like and subscribe and maybe leave a nice review. Like and subscribe, we know you know just what to do. Like and subscribe, we don't want to take the piss. Like and subscribe, but we were told to ask for this. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.